Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 43. Prekshayitva bhuvogolam patne yavan swasamsthaya bhav ascharya mahayogi swashramaya nyavartata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. After showing his wife the globe of the universe and its different arrangements, full of many wonders, the great yogi Kardama Muni returned to his own hermitage. So they, like how people go for honeymoon, they went to honeymoon. So we go to one particular place or many different countries here on the same earth planet. Kardama Muni showed her this universe, the entire universe. All the planets here are described as gola, round. Every planet is round and each planet is a different shelter, just like islands in the great ocean. Planets are sometimes called Dvipa or Varsha. This earth planet is called Bharatvarsh because it was ruled by King Bharat. Another significant word used in this verse is Bhav Ascharya, many wonderful things. This indicates that the different planets are distributed all over the universe in 8 directions, and each and every one of them is wonderful in itself. It is wonderful, right? That our earth planet, how we have a suitable atmosphere, our bodies are suited to live in this planet. If we go to live on the sun planet, we will die immediately. Can't even approach the sun planet. It's so hot. So need a body, a suitable body to live on the sun planet. Each planet has its particular climatic influences and particular types of inhabitants, and is completely equipped with everything, including the beauty of the seasons. In the Brahmas, so we don't have to import any fruits or grains from any other planet. Whatever disturbances we see, that is we have created because of our greed. Otherwise, our planet is fully equipped to meet all our needs. In the Brahma Samhita 540, it is similarly stated, Vibhuti Bhinnam. On each and every planet, there are different opulences. It cannot be expected that one planet is exactly like another. And why should it be, Krishna is a great artist. The artist also, when we create something, we keep like to do some changes here and there. The artist also keeps making different changes. Krishna also has created different types of planets. By God's grace, by nature's law, each and every planet is made differently and has different wonderful features. All such wonders were personally experienced by Kardama Muni while he traveled with his wife, yet he could return again to his humble hermitage. He showed his princess wife that although he was living in the hermitage, he had the power to go everywhere and do anything by mystic yoga. That is the perfection of yoga. One cannot become a perfect yogi simply by showing some sitting postures. No, by such sitting postures or so-called meditation, can one become God, as is being advertised. So Kardama Muni, he could go anywhere, created a big palace, flying palace. It doesn't mean he became God. He still understood his position as a devotee of God. So foolish persons are misled into believing that simply by some caricature of meditation and sitting postures, one can become God within 6 months. So if we think we are going to become God by doing anything, that is our foolishness. No one can become God. God is God. It's not a position. It's not a post that can be filled by anyone else. Demigods, yes, they are posts. If someone wants to become sun god or moon god, Indra, Chandra, Surya can become. Those are posts. But God, no one can become God. Only God is God. It's not a position to be fulfilled or to be filled up. Here, the example of a perfect yogi. Here is the example of a perfect yogi. He could travel all over the universe. Similarly, there is a description of Durvasa Muni, who also traveled in space. Actually, the perfect yogi can do that. But even if one can travel all over the universe and show wonderful feats like Kardama Muni, he cannot be compared to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose power and inconceivable energy can never be attained by any conditioned or liberated soul. So God is always God. The soul, right now, we are conditioned, right? We are conditioned to the modes of nature. We are conditioned, we are thinking, we are the body. So that's why we are called conditioned souls. And at one point of time, we are going to become liberated souls. When we give up all this material body, when we really understand we are the soul, understand the glories of the soul. So at one point of time, we will become liberated. But even at that point of time, we cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord, because the Supreme Lord has even though the soul has this energy, the power, everything, but the Supreme Lord's is much greater, much greater. By the actions of Kardama Muni, we can understand that in spite of his immense mystic power, he remained a devotee of the Lord. That is the real position of every living entity. So imagine if we had the power to create anything in the air. We might get very puffed up. We can go anywhere in the universe. Now people are trying to go, right? Some of the businessmen here, they're trying to send people to moon or something. It started again. But anyway, so imagine if we could go anywhere in the universe, go any planet, nobody's going to stop us. We might start thinking, really, we are God. But here, Kardama Muni, his humility is admirable. He understands his position. I'm not God, I'm just a devotee of the Lord, which is the real position of every living entity. So even though right now we think we are covered, we think we are the body, but our original position is Krishna consciousness. So as we were saying yesterday, that's why that the devotee, a humble sage by his humble and learned Brahmana sees a dog, dog eater, cow, elephant, everyone with equal vision. Why? How does he see that? Because originally each and every one is a spirit soul, and is Krishna conscious. That is our real position. We just forgotten it, that not only that I am a spirit soul and that I'm Krishna conscious, but every living entity is a spirit soul and is Krishna conscious. Vibhajya navadhatmanam manavim surato sukam ramam niramayan reme varsha pugan muhurtavat. After coming back to his hermitage, he divided himself into 9 personalities just to give pleasure to Devahuti, the daughter of Manu, who was eager for sex life. In that way, he enjoyed with her for many, many years, which passed just like a moment. Okay, here the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, Devahuti, is described as Suratotsuka. After traveling with her husband all over the universe in Mount Meru and the beautiful gardens of the heavenly kingdoms, she naturally became sexually stimulated. And in order to satisfy her sexual desire, Kardama Muni expanded himself into 9 forms. Instead of 1, he became 9, and 9 persons had sexual intercourse with Devahuti for many, many years. It is understood that the sexual appetite of a woman is 9 times greater than that of a man. That is clearly indicated here. Otherwise, Kardama Muni would have no reason to expand himself into 9. Here is another example of yogic power. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead can expand himself in millions of forms, a yogi can also expand up to 9 forms, but no more than that. So a yogi, he can expand himself into 9 forms. And here Kardama Muni expanded himself into 9 forms to satisfy the sexual appetite of his wife. So amazing, huh? So imagine if we could expand ourselves. what activities would we be doing? Something to think of. If someone could expand himself 9 times, what would we be doing with 9 of us? So anyway, and then, so this is the yogic power, but yet he understands he's not God. He still understands. The Supreme Lord, he can expand himself into millions of forms. We see Krishna, so many incarnations, so many. So it's the same Kardama Muni. It's not there are 9 different people. No, it's the same Kardama Muni. He can expand himself by his yogic power. The Supreme Lord, he expands himself into so many incarnations and so many amsha. But ete cha amsa kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So another example is that of Sobhari Muni. He also expanded himself into 8 forms. But however powerful a yogi may be, he cannot expand himself into more than 8 or 9 forms. So that's the limit. 8 or 9 forms. The mystic yogi can expand. Sobhari Muni is also another great yogi. We'll be hearing about him later on in Bhagavatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, can expand himself into millions of forms, Ananta Rupa, innumerable, countless forms, as stated in the Brahma Samhita. So the forms that the Supreme Lord expands into, are they material? Anyone?
No.
They are?
They are spiritual, transcendental.
Yes, thank you. And so they are? Transcendental form means they are full of?
They are Sachitanand.
That's right. Thank you. Yes. So these forms that the Supreme Lord expands into, they are not material forms. These, right now we are inside a material body. We are inside the material body. We are the spirit soul. So we, the spirit soul, is also Satchid Ananda. We are just covered by a material form. But when the Supreme Lord expands, his forms are not material. They are all spiritual. He does not need a material body. Does not need it. So no one can compare to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any conceivable energetic manifestation of power. No one can compare to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any conceivable energetic manifestation of power. So I might think, okay, right now I'm not God, but after I get liberated, after I get on the position of the soul, then I will become God. But Bhagavatam clearly refutes it. Bhagavatam says, even when you get liberated, you cannot become God. You will still remain a spirit soul. As Katha Upanishad says, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. There are so many eternals. Unlimited amount of eternal beings means unlimited souls are there. Out of all these souls, there is one soul who is maintaining all the other souls. And that is the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. So we are all souls. Who is maintaining us? The Supreme Lord Krishna. And he's maintaining us not only here in this material world, but he maintains us even in the spiritual world. So reading on, Tasmin Vimana. And did anyone have any questions or comments to what we have been reading?
So the yogi, when he expands, definitely it's then material, right?
I'm sorry?
The yogi, when he expands into like 9 forms, then it's material.
Yes, yes. Those are material bodies. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the question is each soul separate? The entity soul, each soul is separate?
No.
No, or it's the same?
It's the same person. Because that's how he's expanding himself. So it's the same person. Person, when we say person, means soul. So it's the same soul expanding into nine material forms.
No. Like if your soul and my soul, it's different.
Yes.
It's different, right?
Yes. Your soul.
Be the same, right?
Yeah. You know what? See, each of us is a soul, right? Right now we are inside this material body. So when we get liberated, what happens? It's not that your soul and my soul is going to combine and become a big blob of a soul. No. You continue remaining a separate soul, and I continue to remain a separate soul. The individuality continues. Krishna says, never was there a time when you were not there, when I was not there, and that all these kings were not there. And nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So whatever Krishna is speaking in the Bhagavad Gita is pertaining to the soul. So after we get liberated, at one time, each of us is going to get liberated, right?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. So once we get liberated, what happens? You will remain an individual soul, and I will remain an individual soul. And each soul has a spiritual form, a form which is not made of this earth, water, air, fire, mind, intelligence, and false ego. A form, the soul, the quality of the soul is Sat Chid Ananda, full of eternal, full of bliss, and full of knowledge. Sat Chid Ananda. Is that okay?
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. And then what does the soul do after getting liberated? Anyone?
After getting liberated, if he goes to Vaikuntha, or some of them want to merge according to their desire. If they want
That's
to
right.
merge in Brahma Jyoti, they go there.
That's right.
If they want to go to any Vaikuntha planets, they go there. Or if they want to serve Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, they go there.
Yes, that's right. So in Golok Vrindavan,
Enjoy with Krishna. Enjoy with Krishna.
that's what, yeah. That's what I was going to come to that point, you know. It's a loving relationship, you know. It's full of madhurya, sweetness in Golok Vrindavan. There's enjoyment, there is. And it's not with the bodies. We do not have a material body. There's no material body in the spiritual world. That's why it's called spiritual world. Why is this world called material world? Because everything here is material, right? But in the spiritual world, everyone is a soul. No, each of us is a soul. Nobody can become a soul. We are already souls. We are just inside this body. But in the spiritual world, it's just we do not need a material body. We don't have that material body. We are just ourselves then.
So the quality of each soul,
Mhm.
each entity is the same.
Yes, the quality is the same.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that it's been conditioned. So that's why it looks different. Like each person is different.
See, like for example, your body and
Because
my
we're
body.
conditioned. Okay.
See, you are right now inside your body, and I'm right now inside my body. So your material body, I mean to say, your material
Yes.
body and my material body, the quality is the same, right? Earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego.
Right.
Quality is the same, but we look different.
We look different.
We have different consciousness.
And we have different desires.
Different desires, and we have a different personality.
Personality, yeah.
That's what is the difference. The personality is different. You are an individual person. That's what makes you, you. And I am an individual person. That makes me, me. So the covering that we have right now, your material body and my material body, it's of the same elements, earth, water, air, fire, ether. So similarly, now, your covering of this material body, when it goes away, you are a soul, right?
Yeah.
You are a soul. So your quality, Satchidananda, and my soul quality, Satchidananda, is the same.
Same.
But you have your own personality and I have my own personality. The soul also has a personality. Personality is not related to the body. Personality is the
soul.
The soul, the person. Person is the soul. That's why we say dead body. Why do we say dead body? Because the person inside the body went away. this body is actually dead. Whatever knowledge we are hearing, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, is not about the body, it's about the soul. Because the body is dead. It's only we, the person, are inside the body, and that's why the body looks living, appears to be living. Yeah, so you will continue to remain as an individual. Now, what is your original individuality? Who you are originally? That is what is self-realization about, for you to discover. Soul, soul, everyone knows you are soul, I'm not the body, you're the soul, right? Everyone knows that. You know, it's like common knowledge. Even in India, it's very common knowledge. Prabhupada would say, everyone knows you're not the body or the soul. But what is your original personality? What is your original activity as the soul, not as the body? That is what we have to realize. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And so the more we hear and chant, we will remember it, because that's who we are. There's nothing we have to become. We don't have to become anyone else. We just have to realize who we are. That's all. So text 45, Tasmin Vimana Utkrishtam Shayam Rati Karim Shrita Na Chabudyata Tam Kalam Pratyapichyena Sangata. In that aerial mansion, Devahuti, in the company of her handsome husband, situated on an excellent bed that increased sexual desires, could not realize how much time was passing. So time was passing, but it felt like a flash. Sex indulgence is so enjoyable for materialistic people that when they engage in such activities, they forget how time is passing. Saint Kardama and Devahuti, in their sex indulgence, also forgot how time was passing by. So they are enjoying with each other, but they don't know, with every setting and rising of the sun, time is going by, you know, the time in this body is getting reduced and reduced. So what's happening? Evam yoga anubhavena dampatyo Ramanayoho shatam vyatiyu sharadaha kama lala sayor manak. While the couple who eagerly longed for sexual pleasure were thus enjoying themselves by virtue of mystic powers, 100 autumns passed like a brief span of time. So 100 years have passed. They're enjoying themselves, and 100 years have passed, you know. So imagine, and here we are reading that women are more lusty than men. We women are always blaming the men, but here we are hearing that women are more lustier. That's why Kardama Muni had to expand himself 9 times. Otherwise, he didn't need to. So we need to introspect. Then 47, Tasyam adhata retastam bhavayan atmanatmavit Nodha Vidhaya Rupam Swam Sarva Sankalpa Vid Vibhuhu. The powerful Kardama Muni was the knower of everyone's heart, and he could grant whatever one desired. Knowing the spiritual soul, he regarded her as half of his body. Dividing himself into 9 forms, he impregnated Devahuti with 9 discharges of semen. Since Kardama Muni could understand that Devahuti wanted many children, at the first chance he begot 9 children at one time. Oh, at one time. Okay. He is described here as Vibhu, the most powerful master. By his yogic power, he could at once produce 9 daughters in the womb of Devahuti. So 9 daughters at one time he's giving her. He also wants to, you know, get over with it fast and leave home.
Okay.
So that's what, oh, so we'll stop here, I guess.
Yes.
Or this is continuing of the same 9 children. We'll just read this one quickly. Atasa sushve sadyo devahuti striya prajaha sarvastas charu sarvangyo lohitotpala gandayaha. Immediately afterward, on the same day, Devahuti gave birth to 9 female children, all charming in every limb and fragrant with the scent of the red lotus flower. Devahuti was too sexually excited, and therefore she discharged more ova, and 9 daughters were born. It is said in Smriti Shastra as well as in the Ayurveda that when the discharge of the male is greater, male children are begotten. But when the discharge of the female is greater, female children are begotten. It appears from the circumstances that Devahuti was more sexually excited, and therefore she had 9 daughters at once. All the daughters, however, were very beautiful, and their bodies were nicely formed. Each resembled a lotus flower and was fragrant like a lotus. So,
To do with chromosomes.
I'm sorry?
It's to do with chromosomes, the male and female.
Chromosomes, male and female, looks like, yeah. I
XY.
guess so. What? Yeah. So I guess this is how it decides, what is going to be a male child or female child.
Mentioned here also,
According to the
it's
scriptures.
mentioned. Yeah, it's mentioned here also.
Yeah, according to the scriptures. So this is how a female or male child is. There's probably, they are saying probability is higher than like this. So yeah, so we'll stop here for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying.